Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Mixed Text and Politics. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Let's check this out from the Texas scorecard. Texas is entering third decade of Republican control. Yes, third decade. Love it. This year's election confirmed Texas will continue to be a red state with Republican victory statewide. 2022 marks the 20th year that Texas has been a solid red state, with the full Republican trifecta, which means we control the governorship, state senate, and the state house of representatives. From 1848, just 3 years after Texas became a state, until 1995, Texas remained almost entirely a blue state. Every so often there would be a break from the Democrat Party's reign over Texas, but within a few years, Texas was retaken by Democrats. Republicans have control of the governor's office since 1995, when George Bush assumed the position. After a few years of a Republican majority in the House of Representatives, the Democrat Party controlled the House from 1873 to 2002. Gosh. For 104 years, from 1872 to 1976, the state of Texas voted for Democrat presidents with a few exceptions. However, this changed in 1980 when Ronald Reagan ran for president. Since then, Texas have voted for Republican presidents, and that was just the beginning of Texas' flip to red. The Republican Party began gaining traction in the 1960s, but for the most part, Texas continued voting blue. 1995 ended the last Texan Democrat governor's term, and 1997 marked the end of the Democrat reign of the Senate. In 2002, the House of Representatives turned Republican, and the trifecta officially flipped. All right. So we have had a long reign of Republican control here in Texas. In 2010, we saw some victories which furthered our dominance. We picked up 19 of 31 Texas Senate seats, 23 of 32 U.S. congressional seats, 101 of 150 Texas House seats, 234 new Republican elected officials at the county level, which I think is probably just as important, if not more important in some cases. More than 24 Democrat elected officials have switched to the Republican Party since November 2010. And we've seen that recently with Democrats in South Texas elected officials switching over to the Republican Party. Governor Greg Abbott beat Jumpin' Jack Flapp, aka Beto O'Rourke, by 11 points in 2022. Texas Senate retained its majority, and the Texas House of Representatives is currently held by a Republican majority of 86 to 64. However, despite these overwhelming numbers, the priorities of grassroots conservatives are often abandoned by the people's elected servants in favor of lobbyist priorities in Austin. I will get to the legislative priorities for the upcoming session. I will get to that in a later video. But let's take a look at some numbers here. All right. Here is a recent presidential election chart for Texas. 1976, we see Jimmy Carter won Texas by 3%, but since then, Republicans have won every presidential election here in Texas, which is why this is one of the reasons why I consider Republican stronghold, because we have vote overwhelmingly for Republican presidents here in the state of Texas. Every election cycle for the past over 30 years, 40 years. And we go up to the most recent in 2020 when Trump won by almost 6%, which translates to about 650,000 votes. Now, 6% may seem like a smaller margin than previous years. As you can see, 2012, Mitt Romney won by 16%. 2008, who was that? McCain won by about 12%. But 2020, Trump also got the record amount of votes in the state of Texas at about 5.9 million votes, 5.8, 5.9 million votes, which is a record for any president in our state's history. So 6%, 5.5, 6% is a landslide victory, especially here in Texas, with our population size being 29 million people. You won by 5.5, 6%. You won by a lot, but not all 29 million people voted, obviously. All right, let's check this out. The history of the state house or the congressional seats here in Texas. Right now, we control about 25 of 36 seats here in Texas in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, we go down to previous years in the state Senate. Dating back to 1992 up to 2020, we currently control 19 out of 31 seats. This has not been updated yet from 2020. If we go to the state house, we're at 86 to 64. This is not updated, but as I talked about in the article, a previous article, we control 86 seats in the House of Representatives in the state of Texas. So there is a complete Republican control here in the state. And this is very important because once you see Democrats taking control of the state houses, the state house and the state senate, that's when you see a big shift to turning blue. You see more California-style policies put in place. But we have held the line, and our majorities are pretty solid here, which is why it's very important when you get out and vote, you vote everything down ballot, because this affects everything with the congressional seats, the state house, the state senate, your local leaders. And it's important to keep these in Republican control, especially Republicans who are for law and order. Because like in my county, in Tarrant County, Tim O'Hara won. We also had a great district attorney who won, who is going to respect the rule of law. And we have a leftist or Soros-backed DA in Dallas County. And you see there's a difference between Dallas and Tarrant. Tarrant is more conservative. In my opinion, is a safer place to be. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I personally feel less safe in Dallas than I do in Fort Worth. I'm in Tarrant County myself, and to me, it's a great place to live. I love Tarrant County. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in Texas. But this is why it's so important to get out there and vote for your local leaders. Up and down the ballot is very important. But I will get to the priorities for Texas in the upcoming 88th session. And we will talk about that. We'll go through each one. I will post a link in the next video I do about that. And you can see what's on the agenda for this coming session. And I think there's some very good things that we should get passed. And hopefully they will get passed, because some of these are important to our public safety and as well as our kids' future as well. So that's going to be very important. But I'm going to cut the video right there. I just want to talk about where Texas stands as far as being a Republican stronghold. Now, we are going to get 2 more electoral votes in 2024. We're going from 38 to 40, so it's going to be very important that whoever the nominee is wins Texas, for the Republican nominee, which will likely win Texas in the general election. And Florida is also getting another electoral vote. They're going from 29 to 30. So we'll be that much closer to getting to 270. So yeah, very important. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.